the Geologist News channel on Channel 1. We are the Inaccurate News Geologists. I am Nir, and today's region requested by all you viewers at home is Krakatoa. So, what exactly is Krakatoa, and what are the landforms of this region, Krakatoa? Well, Krakatoa is an uninhabited volcanic island which is located on this map that you will see here, and it is in Indonesia. So, it is a mountain created via a volcano, and the height of the mountain is 813 meters, and the island is about 9 kilometers wide and 5 kilometers long. This inhabited island is between the Java and Sumatra Islands. Their landforms include fold mountains and volcanic mountains, formed the same way as Krakatoa. It is a strato or composite volcano, which means it is a tall mountain. It is actually one huge island that looks like one tall stratovolcano, but is actually built above 3 volcanic mountains, merging together. Hello?
Oh, now that he's gone, now that you know about the landforms of the region of today, Krakatoa, you must be wondering how these landforms came to be. First, in 1583, the Indo-Australian plate moved south towards Antarctica and opened a crack in the atmosphere into the Earth's surface. This caused a volcanic eruption which made a primary succession. The volcano erupted many times and each time added a new layer to the volcano, making it a stratovolcano by 1883. The island was very uninhabited, so people didn't make any changes. Now we have Nir for messaging about how landforms were used.
Thank you, Mr. Brack. And now that you learned about the landforms of this region, which I explained earlier, and you know how these landforms came to be, you must be wondering how these landforms were used. Well, Krakatoa has significant landforms, as I said in the beginning, and they're used in different ways. So, one common way it was used is for transportation and trading route due to all the water around it. It was mostly uninhabited due to the landforms, which were mountains, which made it very hard to live and establish settlements there. Well, the point is that this means that the landforms decreased the populations of Krakatoa. It also had a very low population because there was a highly likely chance for a volcanic eruption to occur at any time. Another impact of these landforms is that a boat must be used to travel there. There are no other form of traveling there because there's only water around it, so you cannot walk there. Usually, if someone wanted to visit Krakatoa, they would have to take a boat. There were no buildings and houses that were sturdy. All the buildings and houses were very unstable and not suited for living because of these landforms. These landforms are mountains, and buildings and houses are very hard to build on top of mountains. The top of volcanic mountains have a cool climate due to the elevation, and one slope, the windward slope, has more precipitation. This is also because there's water around it causing precipitation. Oh, looks like there is a volcanic eruption in Krakatoa. What a coincidence. Our reporter we have working here is there at the scene. Mr. Turkey, please describe what you see.
Thank you, Nir. Right now, eruption is the most catastrophic natural disaster I have ever seen. Ash is being sent 80 kilometers into the sky and it's blanketing an area of 800,000 square kilometers. Sailors have recorded seeing clouds of ash rising from the island. 3 tremendous explosions are happening. That was a big explosion. There was a blast that sent gas debris 50 miles into the air from the volcano. There are 6 explosions so far. This one, the deadliest volcano I have ever seen in my life. Oh no! I see a tsunami at least 120 feet tall. The collapse is setting off an immense series of tsunamis that are traveling far as Hawaii and South America. I have another reporter here who was telling you why this is happening, and I am deaf because of the sound.
Thank you, Mr. Turkey. So as described by the other reporter, there are 2 natural disasters in Krakatoa. One, a volcanic eruption. So you are probably wondering how this volcanic eruption is happening. Well, volcanic activity was due to the divergent plate. The Indo-Australian tectonic plate moved northward toward the mainland Asia, causing a divergent plate. Magma from within the Earth's asthenosphere rose through the gap between the Earth's crust caused by the divergent plate boundary. When this pressure is released as a result of the plate movement, magma explodes into the surface, causing a volcanic eruption. The lava from the eruption cools to form the new crust. Over time, after several eruptions, builds up and a volcano forms. After the volcano came a tsunami that was described by Mr. Turkey by the volcano. The tsunami was a series of waves generated in the ocean by a disturbance such as a volcanic eruption. The initial explosion of the volcanic mountain ruptured and changed the magma chamber and allowed seawater to contact the hot lava. The result is known as a physiomagnetic event. The water flashed out, creating a cushion of superheated steam that carried the pyroclastic flows at speeds up to 100 kilometers per hour. The future eruptions are volcanic eruptions resulting from interactions between magma and water. They differ from exclusively magmatic eruptions and feature eruptions. It is common for a large explosive eruption to have a magnetic and physiomagnetic components. Mainland Asia causing a divergent plate. Magma from within, but the news report must go on. The tsunami was caused by a rumbling of volcano as well as a lot of ash falling into the water, and mainly because lava was in contact with the ocean. Oh, we see a wave that we cannot escape.
No.
It's an emergency. Oh no. Well, that was sad. Oh man, they were the only reporters who agreed to not get paid. We're hiring reporters down here, so just call this number. So that was sad. But they weren't the only ones. We just received word that about 36,000 people died from the burns and the tsunamis that happened after the volcano. Also, many people died from the debris falling down and the ash and carbon dioxide emitted from the volcano eruption. That is for now, and we will be back later. Well, that was 10 years ago, and we have come back with a lot more information about this natural disaster, or these two natural disasters, a volcanic eruption and this tsunami. So, after the eruption, the sun was blocked for a couple of days by the ash and rock from the explosions. 90% of the people who were killed by tsunamis. 10% died because of falling debris and rocks and pyroclastic flows, which are hot moving gases of volcanic ash. Only 1/3 of the island remained after the eruption. The volcanic debris in the atmosphere filtered the amount of sunlight reaching Earth's surface and making the temperature of the whole year after the volcanic eruption 1.2 degrees Celsius more colder. The following year for the whole planet. The world's 8th deadliest volcano ever experienced was this volcano. Ash was sent 80 kilometers into the sky and blanketed an area of 800,000 square kilometers, plunging the area into darkness for 2.5 days after the eruption. The ash drifted around the globe, causing spectacular sunsets, halo effects, and lunar eclipse. The moon was also seen as blue and even green, which you will see right now. The northern 2/3 of the island collapsed under the sea into the newly vacated magma chamber. Much of the remaining island sank into the caldera, about 6 kilometers across. After the tsunami, the Java and Sumatra islands were covered by water and gone, and all vegetation was stripped. Structures were demolished, and some 30,000 people were washed out into the sea in Java and Sumatra. The 1883 eruption of Krakatoa killed more than 36,000 people and radically altered global weather and temperatures for years afterwards. The eruption was so violent and catastrophic, yet there's little doubt that if Krakatoa were to erupt again, it would have such force as the one that erupted 10 years ago. The impact would be far more devastating than which was experienced 10 years ago. All of life on Krakatoa, Java, and Sumatra were buried under a thick layer of sterile ash, and plant and animal life did not begin to re-establish itself for 5 years. Exactly 36,417 people died from the volcano, and 120,000 people died from the after effects of the 1883 explosion on an inhabited island called Krakatoa.
Thanks, Nir. Now here's some safety precautions that you can do if you're still in that area and do not want to end up like our reporters that we didn't even pay. For volcano, do this. Stay away from the volcano as much as possible. Evacuate the area from river areas, low elevation region. Stay clear of lava, mud flows, and flying rocks and debris. Wear long sleeve clothes so ash can't damage your skin. Wear a mask or damp clothes over your mouth so you do not breathe the CO2 emitted from the volcanic eruption. Do not stay inside an unstable building because ash can build up on your roof and cause it to fall. For tsunami, do this. Plan an evacuation route that leads you to higher grounds, usually at least 100 meters up. Never stay at shore and watch it. Instead, go as far away from shore as possible, usually 2 kilometers. Do not return to shore because tsunamis have series of waves. If you are on a boat or a ship, move away from the shore because the tsunamis may not feel like much because it starts from the ocean floor. If you can't see the wave, you're too close and will most likely die, so don't go to the wave in the first place. And that's it for our safety precautions.
Thank you all so much for watching and tuning into this news channel about the Krakatoa incident. This incident is very serious and should not be forgotten. So thank you all for watching and learning more about this important incident. And we're still hiring. Call this number right now to be hired as our reporter, and hopefully your fate will not be the same as our old reporters. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.